Hello there everyone. I thought we'd do part 2 of the neck and shoulder stretch. I hope you enjoyed the first part the other day. This one opens up the chest a little bit more and into the shoulder girdle. Obviously you're not going to be able to do this if you've got a frozen shoulder or something like that. So take it slowly and sort of use your own common sense to work out how much pressure. So a lot of these are hypertonix stretches, so PNF stretches. So what we're doing is we are doing a stretch and then we're resisting and pushing back against the stretch. So the idea is to make a muscle be as stretched as possible, and then we're pushing back on that muscle to make it as short as possible, but we're only using about 25% of the tension that we can. So for a start in the shoulders, how many people have been getting sore shoulders with all the computer work from home and not getting to get out and exercise and that sort of thing? It's a real challenge at the moment keeping it up. Not so much here in Australia. We're allowed outside and out for our walk and exercise, not in gyms of course, but we are allowed to get out in groups of 2 or less. So let's just do some stretches. So remember the other day we were doing the neck stretches. So we were using the PNF for the neck, sort of with the old stretching and then pulling back together and stretching and then pulling back together. And then you can do that in lots of different positions with your head. So including like front and back. So it was very much about the positions of the neck. So this time it's a little bit more about the shoulders. So for a start, like everyone knows this stretch, it's a fantastic little stretch. You can feel it right around that shoulder girdle, but what we're going to do is use the PNF stretch with it. So we're stretching and breathe in, breathe out and push in that direction at about 25% of your strength, and you're using your own arm as a resistance. So breathe in, breathe out and push. And breathe in, breathe out and push. And the other side. Give it a nice little stretch and breathe in, breathe out and push. And breathe in, breathe out and push. And breathe in, breathe out and push. Once again, give the shoulders a little, move it around. Now, one of the things that often gets missed is this entire area in here with the pec major clavicular and pec major sternal muscles. They're pretty challenging to stretch unless you use something in your room. So I sort of thought I'd grab a yoga strap, and that way sort of you can do something behind you, and then you're using. So you want to get a stretch, but then you're going to be pushing back towards it, so pushing towards the front. It's not going to go anywhere because we're holding it. So you sort of stretch it back and then breathe in, breathe out and push forward. And breathe in and wiggle your fingers a little bit further together. Breathe in and breathe out and push forward. And wiggle your fingers a bit further and breathe in. And breathe out and push. And that can really help to open up those muscles of the chest there. One of the things that I find is that the dura, and you would have seen me do this in videos with NOT, neural organizational technique, the dura attaches at the tailbone. It's around the spinal cord all the way from here to here. It attaches inside the skull, it attaches at the sphenoid bone, and it attaches at the jaw. So when we've got jaw issues going on, that can also be part of neck issues and back and lower back problems. So with the jaw, you can even do these little PNF stretches yourself with your mandible at the bottom of the jaw. So just open your mouth so it's a little bit slack, and then you're going to push the jaw. So you're going to push this way at the top and this way at the bottom, just nice and gently, and then we're going to do the reverse. Push them the opposite direction. So breathe in and push, and then we're going to resist, go the opposite. We're going to push the back that way. So we make it slack Breathe in, breathe out and push. And breathe in, breathe out and push. And breathe in, breathe out and push. It's very attractive. And then we do the opposite way. So get it a little bit slack, so we're pushing the bottom of the jaw this way this time. Breathe in, breathe out and push. Breathe in, breathe out and push. Breathe in, breathe out and push. Because the poor old jaw in times of stress, in NOT we call the right jaw the stress jaw and the left jaw the defensive jaw. So these little areas, they're very, very tight, and when they're tender in there, it's just a sign we're holding emotional gear in our jaw. So give them a little bit of a rub and you can do that little stretch. There's another thing in NOT called the cookie jar technique, where when you're fully gloved, you sort of get in there and you really loosen the top and bottom of the jaw. But that's a whole little challenge. So another one is, so with that dura, what I was going to say was, because it starts at the spine, we've got to really learn to stretch our spine. And one of the little techniques is pretending you're climbing up a rope, which is a really simple technique, but if you've got chronic back pain, it's definitely something we can do, because when you're pulling this side, you're stretching the right side of the sacrospinalis. When you're pushing up to the left, you're pulling the left side of the sacrospinalis. So just imagine you're pulling yourself up a rope, climbing onto a boat. Time to have some fun. And that just helps to loosen up through the spine. But if you're like me and you've got no stretch, so one of the reasons I've never particularly liked yoga and Pilates is that I suffer so badly afterwards. I've never been a very stretchy person since I was 15. But by using a yoga strap, one leg at a time, if you put the strap around your foot and then just lean forward, and you can do the same thing. So get to a spot that feels like it's starting to be tight. So breathe in, and then when you're breathing out, you push back. So once again, you're using the rope to hold you and to resist, and you're using your body as resistance. And this will start relaxing the sacrospinalis muscles up the spine. Breathe in, breathe out and push. And breathe in, breathe out and push. And breathe in, breathe out and push. And just with that tiny little bit, I can feel myself going down a fraction more each time. And then do the other side. So give it a stretch. So keep your foot upright and breathe in, breathe out and push. And breathe in, breathe out and push. And breathe in, breathe out and push. Okay. So these are just a couple more of our little PNF stretches to help get through the shoulders. The first one was more for the neck. This one's for the shoulders, opening up. One of the things I did notice before, when you're giving yourself this stretch, you can actually flex in between your shoulder blades. So in between there's the muscles called the rhomboid muscles that are sort of down between the shoulder blades. And the rhomboid muscles are massively involved in cramping and spasming through the spine. Now, energetically, they relate to the liver meridian. The liver meridian is about internalized rage and anger and resentment. Not that there's any of that going on in the world at the moment. So when you're sort of giving yourself the stretch through there, not doing the flexion that we were talking about before with the PNF stretching, but this time if you just even flex those little muscles between your shoulder blades, it wakes them up, starts relaxing them, you can really target them. So I hope that's helpful. Hope you're all doing really well. Let me know if there's anything you particularly want me to do a video on, if I can, in the small circle of people that I have to work with. Hope you're doing well in your part of the world. Take care of you, look after yourself.